Welcome to another episode of Pivot and Prosper, a podcast where we speak with entrepreneurs, business owners, and C-suite executives in the marketing industry to hear about their stories of growth with relentless perseverance. Today, I have the joy of introducing Nick Packard. He's a marketing leader for over 20 years now and a fractional CMO from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who's the owner of NP Connect, a company that provides outsourced and on-demand marketing strategy and execution for a wide array of businesses. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Excellent. Let's get right into it here. Tell me about your current role and what problem your business solves and what you've kind of created as a solution.
Yeah, so the big problem I'm solving is that there's a big gap. And with small businesses, specifically working with marketing agencies, they don't know what they need. An SEO agency is going to sell them on SEO, and a web agency is going to sell them on a new website, and a social agency is going to sell them on social media, right? And so that was a big problem. And so what I've solved is that I become the one resource that they need. So my business, I don't have employees. I actually don't believe in employees. And it's a new version of the agency where it's a one-man kind of wrecking crew. So I come in there, I define the strategy, I then execute whatever they need. So anything from video editing to social media strategy, writing, website, web development, anything like that. Over the years, I've learned all those skills, so that's very transparent, it's clear, and they get exactly what they're promised.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Now, would you say you like to work with smaller size companies, larger size companies, B2B, B2C, or kind of as we said before, the whole array is what you
I love
enjoy?
everything, man. I mean,
Yeah.
marketing is kind of the same thing no matter what, right? It's all you're solving a problem for a customer. You're defining what makes you unique. And so I love the mix of clients that I have. I've got some huge clients that are hundreds of millions in annual revenue and some that are hundreds of thousands in annual revenue. And all of them have unique challenges. And I just love it.
Amazing. Yeah, it keeps us sharp, right? If we just did B2C for a small size, companies under 1 million or something along those lines, that just keeps us, yes, focused on that vertical. But by doing everything, geez, your awareness to what's going on in the entire
Yeah.
industry, keeps
And it's
you
more valuable to the
ahead of the curve.
clients. Yeah, it's more valuable too, right? Because the more experience I have in different areas, I can bring those experiences to other clients and say, "Hey, I did this for a dental practice, but I think it's applicable here if we do this instead." And I have examples to show them specifically how it worked and what it costs and all those things. So it actually works out in their benefit as well as mine.
Excellent. Excellent. Really cool. What would you say you've struggled with the most while operating in your current role?
For me, it's time because it's just me. And so I had waiting lists for a very long time. People would wait 3 or 4 months to work with me, which is a huge honor, right? That they would think that they would wait for that. But it's also a challenge for me because I'm always keeping up. I'm always trying to do those things. And so, recently I started offering the ability to tap into freelancers to kind of help keep projects going. But overall, it's always time, right? With every business owner, it's like you don't have enough time in the day.
I can certainly attest to that one here. It seems like the countless, ongoing joke is I left my 9 to 5 to work 24/7, right?
Yes, yes.
Indeed. And even too, we talked about this earlier as well. Touching on when we first get started as business owners, we have loads of time. We're working on our brand a little bit, and clients are coming in, and then it's to the point where now we're overloaded, and now I don't have enough time, but I want to provide the
Yeah.
best quality for the people I do have, and kind of balancing that act in there. So you
Yeah.
said for you, what you've been able to define, just to piggyback off that, was you your limits of what you can handle in your day-to-day operation, right? And I guess have that wait list of, hey, after this period of time, you're then available. So how long does a typical client sign on with you?
I kind of have a rule. I have a 9-month rule where if I don't do my job in 9 months with defining a strategy, executing and building a system which works without me, then I haven't done my job. So usually it's anywhere between 6 to 9 months is an average engagement. I have a couple outliers who had reached back out to me if they've lost some staff or if they are doing new campaigns, they need me. But overall, it's always 6 to 9 months.
Excellent. Excellent. I think it's a great time frame. So what would you say are some of the key skills or knowledge bits that are most important for success in your industry, this whole industry, right? Working with so many different types of clients in the next few years?
Technology is one, just understanding what technologies to use, right? So it's like I use Trello, for example, for project managing. So every client has its own Trello board where we can communicate directly on that. We track everything. I use Harvest for my time tracking, so that way I can be down to the minute as far as how much time I spent on each project, which it generates complete transparency with all of my clients. They know exactly how long was spent on specific tasks. And then just understanding like technology with social media websites, like, how the latest technology in a website builder, or how you're leveraging ads on social media. I mean, it's all about technology and being able to learn what's out there.
Yeah. This also reminds me a bit of, I was in a workshop recently and we're talking about the tasks that we do as the business owner versus that we hand off to whoever we're hiring or bringing into those pieces, right? And a
Yep.
recent bit of feedback I got was if it takes longer than 2 minutes for us to do, it should be handed off to whoever, a VA, project manager. We can go down the list, right? Did you kind
Yep.
of see those things often? Has that been something you've come into? Certainly for me, where I look at it and go, I'll just fix it. And then many times, well, I did 40 things of just quick fixes, and 40 times
Yeah.
2 minutes adds up to be a lot, right?
Yeah, and what I've actually done is I've incorporated video for that. So I do screencasting or screen recordings of, like, I walk through, this is a specific problem I'm trying to solve, and then so if I'm handing off to a developer, and whether they're down the street or across the ocean, having a visual piece to that and me talking through it, showing them exactly what I'm looking for, it makes it faster, so I don't have to type it up and try to, like, word it the right way. And it helps me just explain it and show them exactly what I'm looking for. But yes, absolutely. Like, trying to get what's in my head out has been a huge issue, but that video solution for me has been a great fix.
Couldn't agree more. I think what is the phrase I hear between marketers nonstop the past 2 years? It's just send me a Loom video. No problem. I'll
Yes.
just, send
Yeah.
you a Loom video. It'll cover it all, right?
Yeah. Well, and I love
Excellent.
that my clients, yeah, like they've never had that before, because they're mostly, small businesses, right? And so they're like, I think it's great. Like, I'll make training videos on how to manage their website or how to do this. And they're like, I never realized how easy it was to make a video to show you exactly what to do. I was like, oh my God, but it's technology, right?
Yeah, another question here. Now, in talking about that length of time when bringing on a client, how much time do you say you spend on it? What does that the first month or two look like when it comes to onboarding them and really
Yeah.
the discovery phase, right? Understanding the industry, knowing their ideal customer profile, the whole 9 yards. What does that
Yep.
kind of look like? So for people watching.
Nailed it. So I won't work with someone unless they fill out what I call a target client profile and messaging document. So you were right on context with that. So essentially what I do is I break down a couple key things with them, and it takes anywhere between 8 to 16 billable hours typically. And what that is first we talk about them. I'm a big Simon Sinek guy, so like the why statement, right? So you can't really, sell unless you know what you're doing or why you're doing it. And then it's like, okay, what services do you sell? And then what makes you truly unique? Most clients I work with don't know what makes them truly unique. They will say, oh, we have transparent this and we're great customer service. And I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. Everyone says that. So once we break down those things about the company, then we go into their buckets of customers. And then we'll talk about their motivators and challengers and commonality. So once we know what motivates them to want to get a service like you offer and what challenges they have in their life, we can then create new USPs or unique selling propositions so that we can leverage, what they do correctly on the right channels.
Interesting. I love it. I couldn't agree more too. I think that first defining of what direction and roadmap are we going to build out is the most critical one. And how many
Yeah.
companies, as you just mentioned there, have said, who is your ideal customer profile? Everyone. No, it's not. No, it's not. Not even close. Let's target
Oh,
it down to exactly who that could be, what they look like. Let's get inside their heads
yeah.
and understand what frustrations do they have with what the product service you're selling, but also in life too. So you can kind of say, is this a frustration? Maybe this is also a frustration too. And then they can, what does that person typically do through their head?
Yep.
This is written for me.
Yeah.
That
Right.
type of
It's
feeling, right?
almost like it's going to work, like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is one piece of outdated advice that entrepreneurs should stop following immediately?
I hate the advice, like, leap into starting your own business or take a leap into, entrepreneurship. I think for two reasons, I think that's a BS statement. The first is, It's not a leap. It is a choice to take control of your life. And I say that because when you work for someone else pulls the strings, they have the control over you. As an entrepreneur, you have full control. If you're short on money or clients, guess what? You can go out there and get new ones because you're the seller. You're the only one that does it, right? The other reason is like you don't take a leap because you have to plan. You have to understand again your own target customer, what services you offer, how the systems work, how you're billing, all these like a million things you have to think about for your business. So like taking a leap into that isn't going to bring you success. It's going to bring you like those crap moments and those moments of being scared, right? Of like, I didn't do this right. I didn't set this up right. I'm not doing this right. Like, but by setting things up the right way initially, or as best as you know how, you at least have a system to work off of. So I just the statement, take a leap into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And there's so many unexpected components we were talking about kind of earlier before we kind of kicked off here, right? And what one for me was I said knowing that there's going to be a paycheck on the 1st and 15th. That's long gone. And even the strategy of, one of my mentors told me, and I'm interested in your philosophy on this too. If you're chasing that dollar figure, it's going to be more difficult. If you're chasing, instead I want to hit 8 figures in my business, I want to, in the next year, help 80 more businesses with their success. And if that helping of the people is the focus as opposed to the monetary value, then the money just comes. What are your thoughts on that?
Dude, you literally took it out of my mouth. Like my thing that I say to everyone is like, don't chase the dollars, chase your passion. And so I couldn't agree more. I mean, to me, my passion at the end of the thing is creatively finding solutions that, that's going to help someone's business grow. Like I love what I do. I would do it for free if I could. And I think that's what makes me really good at what I do because I'm doing what I'm passionate about. I don't do it for the money. The money does come. You're absolutely right. If you do something you love, it's going to be there. It's weird how it works. Like no one can explain it except for if you're in the world of like if I feel like I'm getting low on clients or for whatever reason, it just comes in waves. Then I just think it. And I'm like, oh my God, now it's just like, I'm super busy all of a sudden. It's the craziest world. And I just can't even explain it.
Yeah. I'm trying to put words behind it here too, but you said the wave, which I think is, what those ups are. And hey, there'll be months where it's like, this is great. I promise there will be months where it just severely dips after that. And the level of, we were talking about this earlier, stress and anxiety I didn't know existed, right? Like, oh man, I thought I've gone through some wild stuff in my life. No book could have prepared me. No mentor could have prepared me, right? I think the only thing I wish I would have done a little more was, hey, if this doesn't work for a full year, now I don't want to have a plan B. A lot of mindset is I'll make it work. But if that were the case, is this going to drain all of my savings and all my funding and preparation? Like I want to be able to, how can I mitigate risk and stress? There are ways to do that, right? So, yeah.
But it's true that thought in the back of your head of like, do I ever polish up my resume? At what point do I need to start thinking about that? But it's like you just don't have that mindset to be successful. You just know like whatever it takes, if you have to knock on doors. I've got stories of doing the silliest things ever at times when I first started because I had to, and you just do it.
That's the area of relentless perseverance, right? Knocking on doors. I would, if my first client said, "Hey, I need a website and some social media, and can you cut my grass on Sunday?" I would have said, "Absolutely, I'll be there." And anyone who wants to give me money for anything, I'm there.
Well, and I was a YouTube University graduate because, in the first part of my business, hey, do you edit videos? Absolutely, I do. No, I don't, but I'll learn how. And so I would buy the stuff I needed, the Adobe suite. I learned this, and I would spend hours. I would not sleep for days to learn how to edit videos. And guess what? 20 years later now, I'm a great video editor because it was a skill I needed to acquire to grow my business when I needed to the most.
I love it. So we're really piggybacking off here about motivation and education, all those components, and prepping for the business role in the industry. And I'm big on. Well, we talked about, I have books, but I listen to them. I don't actually thumb through them, right? You talked about a few earlier as well, too. Are there any specific books or other resources as a whole that have inspired your entrepreneurial growth? And what about those books would you say, like bullet points, was it that inspired you?
Yeah, I mean, Simon Sinek, like I mentioned earlier, he is like, hearing the why, the old YouTube video of him talking about the why in Apple as the example, to me, that was like a big aha moment for me. reading the book Traction was a good one, because it helped me understand setting up, just thinking differently, I think. And then truth be told, I actually am a certified coach, and I listen to Pred Sugars from Action Coach. I'm no longer, associated or affiliated with them, but the idea behind his books and the way he thinks, I love, because it's catered toward the small business and creating systems and processes. And that, to me, those are all books that every entrepreneur should be reading, at some sort, because it's all like the idea of systems and processes to make your life easier and to make your business work in parts without you, is everything.
Yeah. Are there any of these books that you've read? I have two of them in particular where you've read them once and you continue to read them maybe once a year or every other year or something because it's so valuable.
Honestly, no, only because I typically don't read books. I'm more of an audio guy, myself.
Okay, we're listening.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, not really though, because for me, I'm always kind of like going forward with things. And so even though it's a great reference, I have a slight photographic memory. So like I really remember things well. And so for me, it's always about the next podcast I'm listening to, the next audiobook I'm getting, because I just want to keep like learning forward, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wish I had that photographic memory like you said. For me,
Yeah.
that book is Never Split the Difference, Chris Voss, Art of Negotiation,
Okay.
and just how you engage with people and what that's dialogue back and forth, not so much just to get, you know, to get your way, but to understand where they're coming from and to have a clean discussion, just so where there's no,
Yeah.
well, you know, blurriness, I guess, between the two of you. There's pure clarity,
Sure.
which has certainly helped me over the years. I love it. Now, looking into the future, what would you say are some emerging trends that you believe will redefine the industry in the next 10 years, 20 years, et cetera?
Yeah, so for me, again, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I think what I'm building here, this idea of a standalone person with tapping into other business owners, like a virtual agency. I really think that's the future of marketing, because what most business owners are experiencing now is that the staff that they're hiring, the teams that they're hiring, are not as motivated. They aren't the same type of workers that they're used to. They're different skill sets. They have different needs and demands. And so what that's creating is a lack of production. And so it makes it harder for businesses to grow. So I think, you're gonna find more motivated people like ourselves that can build something a little bit more uniquely, digitally or virtually, and have that on-demand fractional model where they can tap into what they need when they need it the most, and save some money and get better results.
I love it. I love it. A great method moving forward, right? It's interesting to see what we'll
Mhm.
see in other agencies, businesses, et cetera, with connecting the right resources to the right people to get the right results, right? And with the
Exactly.
experience
Yeah,
that
and
you
it's
have,
just
it's you're just, I mean, every day, month, year, your education on all these industries and sizes and knowledge is just growing and growing, and growing, which is, hey, just helping the next client even more
yeah.
and more.
And it's helping me grow too, because I'm just one of those people who loves to learn. And so for me, it fulfills every need I have, which is helping people and learning as much as I possibly can to be able to do that. Right. So I'm enabling myself to do more things that I love. And so to me, it's such a cool path. And I'm just so happy to be doing what I'm doing right now.
I love it. We fall in the same boat then. It turns into from actually working a 9 to 5 and then working 24/7, grinding all the stresses. And then for me, the next piece on the roller coaster was I'm not, I don't even feel like I'm working. I'm enjoying my life. I'm chatting with people I enjoy chatting with. I'm helping
Yeah.
clients fulfill the direction and strategy they want to go to with marketing wise. Sounds like you're doing the exact same thing as well too. And I can make dinner reservations for whatever time and typically make it happen without the fight traffic.
Yes, exactly. Well, and I
Right?
can do things with my kids. Like, so, having a family brings a new layer of things, because I would work 20 hours a day and sleep 4 hours if I had no one else, to take care of or to be with. Right. But because of my family, I now have a job that enables me to make the kind of money that allows me to go on vacation and do those things and take off when I want to. And so that extra part of it is amazing. And again, because I'm virtual, my clients are all over the world. It doesn't matter where I am, because we meet virtually, right? So it's part of the technology piece. Again, is just understanding and how to work with it. So it's just great.
You just send them a Loom video, right? You're good to go.
So
Cool, man. So we've definitely learned a lot here, and I've really enjoyed our conversation. But let's end it off here, and feel free to really dive deep and elaborate in it with your business and just other techniques and thoughts behind it. So suppose you were given the opportunity to mentor a young entrepreneur, maybe even it's you 20 years ago, let's say hypothetically, right? You can only give them one piece of advice. But let's expand this to a few pieces if we could. What would
Okay.
that be? What would that be and why?
First of all, we trust your gut. No matter what, in any aspect of life, trusting your gut is everything. If you feel like you're not being utilized at a job you're at, if you feel like, I think that was my biggest thing was this fear of like, if I leave this safe zone of this corporate job, I don't know what's going to happen, right? And so for me, it was just like getting over that fear and trusting my gut that I knew I was in the right spot, that I knew I was meant for bigger things. So that would be the first piece of advice. The next one is like, kind of talked about earlier, is chasing your passion, not the dollar. I think to me that was, something that like most people don't understand. It's like, oh, I want to start a business. I heard this business it pays a lot of money. It's like, well, if you're doing it for that, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. And what will become of that is you will have a lesser service or a lesser product because you're only worried about profits. If you're doing things the right way and serving your purpose, I think you're going to get better results. Actually, the example of the smaller marketing agencies in my market that I look at is that on the overcharges and the things, like they're out to make money. Like certain businesses are out to make money, whether it be manufacturing, marketing, or whatever. Like if they're out to make money, their margins are going to be larger. Their customer service is going to be lesser. They don't build with passion; they build with dollars. So that to me is a huge piece of it.
I love it. I love it. Any other, for everyone who's watching here or potentially would love to have you come on and help them as a fractional CMO and help their business grow. What size? I know we talked about whole realm, but let's give this elevator pitch here. If you're dealing with X problem here and are looking for a Y solution, we should come to Nick. So let's hear that from you to everyone. We'll put your link down below. Let's hear that.
Yeah, so really, if you're looking for a better marketing solution that just has more ROI and that has you more excited about marketing, I'm the guy to call. I think outside the box with everything I do. Ask any one of my clients. I've literally put money up for them to do a campaign because I'm that confident. So it just, if you're looking for something very different, if you're looking for something more transparent, and the opportunity to learn and build systems the right way to kind of really grow your business, I'm the right guy for you. I do offer a free assessment. So I will look at your website, your social media channels, your search. I'll look at all those things at no charge for you, and give you a full report of recommendations. You can take that and do whatever you want with it. There's no obligation. And just start that by going to nickpackard.com.
Love it. So I'll put the link down below for everyone watching as well. Also the link to your LinkedIn if people want to follow and see what kind of content you're posting up. But hey, thank you so much for joining us here today, Nick. This has been wise words of wisdom and entrepreneurship through his growth from Nick Packard. Again, thank you so much for speaking with me here today.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, appreciate it.